Welcome to the next session on commodity derivatives and risk management, and we'll continue with our discussion on what are the factors which influence the spot futures price let me repeat, what are the factors which influence the spot prices of soya bean, soya meal and soya oil. Once we get an understanding what are the factors which are influencing these spot prices of these commodities, and depending upon the happening or non-happening of these factors is going to give us an indication of whether future price is going to increase or decrease for these commodities. So understanding the commodity, the competitors, understanding the who are the producers, who are the consumers, who are the value chain partners, what are the supply demand factors, what are the government regulation is a very important consideration for any commodity when we are analyzing about it. And you recall last session I just did a small exercise just to test you whether you will be able to identify soybean or not. So I don't know whether how many of you were able to identify, but what I was trying to drive at is that if you are going to be a commodity trader, or you are going to be a person anything to do with commodity, you must understand what is the commodity is all about in its all dimension, starting from the first and very basic requirement is to know, feel, touch the commodity, and maybe visit manufacturing center or go talk to the farmers, keep your eyes open, and whoever has anything to do with that commodity must meet, talk, so that you will be able to understand the commodity, the price risk, different parameters associated with that commodity. Now let's go to the today's agenda. We discussed last class about the importance of soybean. We also discussed that soya oil and soya meal is extracted from crushing soybeans. I am just going to and these three pictures which I have is in front of you. One is shows the soya bean when they is still in the plant, and soya bean is the second picture shows soya bean has been crushed to arrive soya milk, that is that white color in the glass, that is soya milk. And tofu, it is a it's a like paneer or chena equivalent of which is derived from the soya milk. You have soya sauce. I'm sure many of you have eaten, or you must have been regularly buying soya sauce, bottled soya sauce. And the other container has soya nuggets, or one of the popular brand which I had already mentioned in the last class, that Nutrilla soya nuggets. And the right side of the picture is in a bowl you have a soya oil, which we predominantly consume as it's used as edible oil. Now this is a YouTube video. I want you all to spend maybe a couple of minutes on how soya oil is extracted by crushing soya meal and soya bean. Of course, this video is about 1.5 minutes, so let's not spend much of a time on these. So I'll just take you to appropriate or let me okay, this is if you see when the soybean is crushed, you are getting what you are seeing is the crude soya oil. This has to be refined and basically cleaned to get the kind of oil which we consume. So there is also certain other chemical and straining process which are undertaken to arrive at the refined soya oil. What we are seeing is the crude soya oil, and let me take you to. So if you can see what also another byproduct of the whole process is the soya meal. So this soya meal dried this what is getting extracted is the soya meal, and from the soya meal you have other soya nuggets and other animal feed or poultry feed are prepared. So the YouTube link to this particular the link to this YouTube video is given in this particular slide. So at your leisure time you spend some time. There are many other YouTube videos also, and I chose the one which had which showed the process quickly and with very less time. Now let's go to which are the factors influencing soybean, soya meal and refined soya oil prices in India. Now we cannot analyze a commodity in isolation. With the export import and India's market getting increasingly integrated with the global market, whatever is happening in the global market, international market, those factors also influences the price. Those factors also influence the price to prevail in Indian market. Now for soybean, let's spend a couple of minutes understanding who are the major producing nations. United States, Brazil, Argentina, China and India. India ranks the 5th position in terms of soybean production, and of course India produces around 18 million tons, while United States produces around 108 million tons as per the latest statistics available. And this is as far as the production of soybean is concerned. Now let's go to the soya meal. So soya meal is exported by Argentina, Brazil, US, India and European Union. Please see that even if you have China as the largest one of the largest producer of soya bean, but it does not export any soya meal because soya meal is consumed domestically for their both animal feed as well as for the human consumption in terms of tofu and soya milk and soya sauce. Now who are the exporting nations of soya oil? Soya oil is majorly exported by US, Argentina and Brazil. What about India? India is the 5th largest producer of soybean. It also 4th largest exporting nations of soya meal. But what about soya oil? No, India does not export any soya oil. So we are a nation of oil gudgelers in terms of whenever it is or with respect to the edible oil. So we import all kinds of edible oil. We import refined soya oil. We import crude soya oil and get it refined at the domestic market. We import we import palm oil. We import sunflower oil. So all kinds of other edible oil we import into India. Now considering what are the factors which if we can summarize, what factors influences the this soybean, soya meal and soya oil prices. The consumption of soya oil, soya meal is increasing across the world. Growth of poultry and fish farming is also increasing the demand for soya meal. Also another interesting dimension which probably many of you may be knowing, the demand for biodiesel is increasingly at a is growing at an increasing rate, and this refined soya oil is also used as a biodiesel. So from the demand side, there is a significant amount of demand for soya oil consumption in India, and many Asian countries, you have a significant amount of demand for soya meal consumption in China, and also in India and other nations, depending upon their poultry and fish farming growth, and demand for biodiesel specifically in USA, and the biodiesel demand for USA is substantially higher. So all these things play a role, all these factors play an important role in deciding what is going to be the price of these three commodities. From the supply side, as we have many times discussed, area under the plantation in major producing nations like Brazil, Argentina, USA, China and India. Availability of old crops in storage location. This is a very important indicator of what is going to be the availability of older crops for the next year, because the quality degradation of soybean does not happen significantly if these soybeans are stored in a proper condition. So if there is enough inventory from the previous crop year, so this is going to be an impact on this is going to have an impact on the current year price. Of course, other regulatory measures like minimum support price announced by the Government of India, and you have the weather conditions during the planting season, because this is the most it's considered one of the most crucial phase of the soybean plantation. So if proper weather condition is not there, so there could be a severe impact on the productivity of the soybean productivity. And also another important factor which influences the price is the supply of other edible oils like palm oil, groundnut oil and sunflower oil, etc. So if there is significant amount of overproduction or more availability of these competing products or substitutes, then price of soya oil may take a dip. Now in this context, I would like to share with respect to the availability of older inventory and its impact on the soybean prices. In this context, I would like to say a ratio is called stock to use ratio. So this stock to use ratio is an indicator of supply. So how this stock to use ratio is measured? It is a ratio measured by the available closing stock of a commodity at the end of the crop year to the total demand. So let's say if you have X tons of closing inventory available, and you have let's say average consumption is around X plus 20 tons per year, so accordingly you will be able to find out what is the stock to use ratio. And what is the relationship of this stock to use ratio with the next year soybean prices? So a negative relationship exists between stock to use ratio and the average farm price of any commodity. So higher the stock to use ratio will have a will indicate that next year soybean prices may go down. Now the next question arises, from where are we going to get this information? Is there some reliable source who will give what is the availability of what is the closing inventory? Because this soybean can be held at by different parties. Maybe some are traders, some are with farmers, some may be with different major companies which are into branded soya oil production and selling. So how do we get to know about it? Of course, individually it is not feasible for us to do a survey or something like that to find out. There are certain official bodies which help us in getting information pertaining to a specific commodity. So let's identify which are the official bodies or information provider whose information can be used to formulate our views regarding a commodity price, and specifically the soybean price. So let me go back to stock to use ratio. So this is the, I hope you are able to see this. Let me increase the size a little bit. So this is the USDA supply and demand review of soybeans. So if you see this particular table to your to the right, this is United States Department of Agriculture has as of June 2016 has given an indication what is going to be the area of plantation, what is the area of harvest, for expected area of harvest during 16-17, May, June, etc. So this, if you see the stock to use ratio is 4.9% during June 14-15. It has gone up to 9.87 during June 15-16, and it is expected to be around 7.8% in May 16-17, and it is expected to by June 16-17 it is going to be around 6.6%. So this is a indication. Going by this mere indication, we can say that during the crop year of 16-17 the price may fall down, considering the stock to use ratio. Now let's go to the stock to use ratio as given by the USDA for the world soybean. So stock to use ratio is 26%, 22.7%, 20%, 20.8% and 20.2% respectively. So accordingly you will be able to, if you spend some time, you will be able to formulate your views about the likelihood of soybean prices going up or going down by considering these various parameters. Now every commodity has its own industrial bodies and cooperative societies which provide very authentic information. Okay, now the next question is that from where do we get authentic information pertaining to a commodity? So for soybean there are some sources. So which are these sources? United States Department of Agriculture provides a lot of timely information pertaining to many agricultural products which are produced and consumed all over the world. So that is an important source where you will be able to get information pertaining to that commodity which you are considering. And specifically for soybean in India, you have two bodies called SOPA and Solvent Extractors Association of India. So SOPA stands for Soybean Processor Association of India, and it's a leading body which provides information pertaining to acreage of plantation under soybean, who are the processor, what are the what is the old stock available, what are the price prevailing in the different markets besides Indore or including Indore. So there are other markets, major markets for soybean. That information is also available at this website of SOPA. There is also another website or information source which is known as the Solvent Extractor Association of India, and the website link which I have given. It is a very old body which was formulated in the year 1963, and it has around 875 members, and which are out of which 350 members are involved in solvent extraction plants. So 350 members own solvent extraction plants, and with a combined cake and oilseed processing capacity, annual capacity of about 30 million tons. So these processors not only process soybean, they also process rice bran, they also process castor oil and sesame seed, coconut and mustard and etc. So these processors, the solvent extractor use the raw material and extract the oil from the extraction process. So as far as soybean is concerned, besides many Government of India publications by Ministry of Agriculture, you can keep track of whatever information is providing by these two leading bodies called SOPA and Solvent Extractors of India. And of course USDA is another authentic source for getting some information pertaining to a commodity, agri-commodity. Now I'll just take you through quickly what has been the price of soybean, of Indian soybean, soya oil and soya meal production. If you see, this is the quantum of production. It's not prices, it's the quantum of production of Indian soybean, soya oil and soya meal production. So this is in 1000 metric ton, and India is the, as I mentioned, 5th largest producer of soybean, but it is the largest importer of soya oil, and it is also exports soya meal, because India's soya meal is considered to be very good quality, because India still does not produce, or India is still producing non-GMO variety of soybean, and so India's soya meal is considered as a premium in many markets. So this particular diagram also shows the import export of soya meal and refined soya oil, and as well as palm oil and sunflower seed import. So please spend some time. I'm not going much detail into it, but cursorily you can see that soya meal exports are going down because our domestic consumption is increasing, as well as global prices have gone down, and India's soya meal prices are increasingly becoming little expensive. So that is the reason why not much of soya meal has been exported since last couple of years. Soya oil import, as I said, soya oil import is increasing and the way we are eating or using edible oil, considering the obesity of among Indian men and women. So this trend is going to continue for some time to come, till we we become self-sufficient in production of soya oil. And accordingly we also are importing palm oil and sunflower seeds. Now how do we suppose based on this information you decide to take a you are interested to take a futures position on different soya products like your soya bean, soya oil and soya meal. So how will you go about it? Let me give an example, real life example. Let's say a branded soya oil manufacturer buys soybean from the market. It does not own, it buys soybean from farmers, extracts and sells soya oil and soya meal. it has already entered into selling soya meal to a animal feed manufacturer in India at a fixed price, and due to low production of Indian soybean, soybean prices is increasing. And India also has a policy related to restriction of import of genetically modified soybean. So this company is not expecting any softening of soya bean prices in near future, but it has already committed to sell soya meal at a fixed price. Also, the company which is into manufacturing and selling of branded soya oil, it cannot increase the soya oil price because it is also facing stiff competition from other branded soya oil marketers in India. And it will also not be able to increase the soya oil price in India because the global price of palm oil and easy import norms of edible oil into India will ensure that it does not have a freedom to increase the soya oil price. Now, what the company will do? So, if the company does not do anything, it will end up buying soya bean at a higher price. It will not be able to increase its soya oil prices, and it will not be able to get a higher price for its soya meal because it has already entered into a fixed price contract for delivering soya meal at a fixed price. So in that case, what is going to be the strategy of this particular company, how this company will be able to mitigate the risk? This aspect we will discuss in the next session. Thank you all of you.